welcome to This and That. I'm Dave Lees.
And I'm Jonathan Byer, and Dave, I do like our summer fun apparel that we're doing.
It is our
Anchors away, Dave. Okay.
Our Father's Day episode. I went out with my dad last night, and we're going to my friend Don McCoy's house today. So for our annual Father's Day.
Did you get a Father's Day card?
Yes, I got a Father's Day card.
Where did you get it from? We never talked about this. Papyrus is my favorite.
There's a Hallmark store. It's like not owned by Hallmark, like they carry Hallmark in New Jersey. Weren't you paying attention to my Instagram story yesterday? I decided to Instagram a few days.
I saw the houses you were looking at yesterday.
Did you see the two houses that were close together, like very much too close together?
Yes, and you were very perplexed by that one.
I was. And you know what? Neither one has sold, and they've been on the market for a while. I've been perplexed by it for a while, but I loved it. My town is interesting because it's an old town from it started in the 1800s, obviously, and late 1800s. And then a lot of these homes either get restored or redone, or they knock them down and put new houses up. And it's always just interesting to see what happens. Like, the town is weird in that people have these properties with homes that take up almost the entire property, rather than having
space.
Where I'm from in Jersey, where people would have a house but then have a big property. They have these big homes, but on smaller property. It's really curious to me. So there are these two houses that are next to each other, and you could literally, and they're gorgeous houses in their own right, but on the property where they are, you could go.
You could literally, it looked like you could let them borrow that cup of sugar by passing it through the window.
Yeah. You can go up to the front door in one and be like, oh, they're watching TLC on the channel next to you, or HGTV. And I'd be like, wow, I don't think I want to live that.
I'd be more judgy about one than the other, personally.
Yeah. Well, anyway, there's this house that I walk by all the time, and I've always thought that it was like an old Hollywood house, right? And it always reminded me of when I went on. Has anyone ever gone on the Hollywood tour? Okay, so my family is from Jersey, born in multiple generations, right? The first time we ever went to California, my mother had us wear all matching outfits. I was 11, right?
You guys are thick as thieves. Okay.
Yes, we all wore, Debbie Planet. We went on matching outfits, and our first day in LA, we took the car tour to see where all the celebrities live, right?
Amazing.
And the only houses you can really see are the actresses from the 40s, 50s, and early 60s, because everyone else is behind gates. So I have a memory of being in LA in the mid to late 90s, and we saw Lucille Ball's house. We saw Jack Benny's, and on this block, and there's this house where, and there's this house where I live. It reminds me of there's you said it's a widow's walk up top, and I feel
exactly.
I feel like it's destined for some old queen to live there, when
someone in a shawl and a cup of coffee, wondering where it all went wrong.
Yes, an old woman who's or someone fabulous. So I'm Jonathan should buy it. It's a summer cottage, and can have piano
and heckle
parties.
Children playing on the street.
Yes, you could literally drive out your friends from the city for a little party in the country.
That would be lovely.
Yeah, you could put your harp there. Do you still have the harp?
Well, that was actually Melinda's harp, so yes, I still have access to it, but I think I don't want it there because I'm reserving this big open space for my big Christmas tree.
Oh, so we could have the Christmas tree. We can have that would be great. Christmas in the country, and we could have maybe some candle. You love a scented candle. We could make cookies during the day.
Delicious.
Yeah.
I love that you think I have any money left to do that after I did this New York apartment.
Jonathan, I would really like you to have a hosting career. I feel
that would be lovely.
Your real talent is not being served in the pageants, and I've said this for a while. When you first went, I said, no, I don't want you judging the pageants. I want you hosting an evening with Jonathan Byer.
Hostess with the mostest. That would be a dream come true. Welcome to my living room.
You could make little puns. You could maybe sing a couple of notes, because you'd have them warm up so that you would actually sing, because usually you're kind of a diva about that.
Yeah, I have to protect the gift.
But I would like you to host pageants on television. Maybe
I would like to do that.
You could also host telethons, I'm thinking. If you watch the end of Mrs. Maisel when she's on...
Which we love, yeah.
Remember when Jerry Lewis had that telethon that used to be on for hours and hours and
hours?
All
those damn kids, yeah.
Yes. You would be great with those kids.
Thank you so much, Dave. I always like a show that starts with a compliment. This is great.
Because those telethons are a lot of screen time, Jonathan. People would kill for that kind of publicity.
Do they still have those?
I don't know. Does anyone know?
It'd be like an Instagram live.
It became a big cringe when they would like bring Jerry out towards the end when he was.
That was tough.
It was almost as bad as Dick Clark coming out after the stroke. It was a real cringe watch after a while, you know.
Well, or do you remember like PBS used to do all of those in between like concerts or
oh,
like
he'd be great on PBS.
Big specials. Yeah.
Hello, I'm Laura Linney, and this is Downton Abbey. Like, come on, Jonathan.
That's right. We're at the phone banks now. We're begging you to give us money.
Well, we've got a lot of, like, random stuff, but it's still going to be a fantastic episode because there's a lot to discuss. And
it already is, Dave.
We need to put it in context for everyone. By the way, the only other house I saw in LA other than Lucille Ball was OJ's house. Just so you know, this is how young I was. My dad lifted me on his shoulders to get, like, a picture over the gate in Rockingham. And I think his, like, kids we weren't the only ones. There were, like, 40 to 50 people there. And just cars, like, streaming in. All
white Broncos.
That house was knocked down, Jonathan, okay? And like,
oh, it was? Okay.
Yeah, and I remember that they changed the number on Nicole's like townhouse condo, and they tried to like change the number so people couldn't know, but of course all the guidebooks would say like this is Nicole's condo, and they changed the number on it. That was 25 years ago.
That's a long time.
Yeah. Anyway, it was a pop culture moment.
Now here's my tangent then. There used to be a video. Well, Randy Newman had a song called "I Love My Friends." Or I Love LA. I don't remember what it was.
Randy Newman, the guy who did the music in You've Got a Friend in Me.
Yeah, there was something like I Love LA. And Kris Jenner, when she turned 30 years old, made her own music video with like a handheld thing. And it's called I Love My Friends.
What's your opinion on her? Okay, continue with the story and then we're going to discuss her.
Yeah, because she needs to be discussed. So it's just her and her friends like at the Cheesecake Factory singing this song, and then they do like little clips, and it's so cringy and it's terrible. And O.J. Simpson is in there, and he's like, "We love you," and he's like standing with Nicole. Like it's a very cringy moment in the video. Kris Jenner, I think
she's the best skating mom of all time since
I think she should be a skating. No, because I don't know that she would have. Well, no, maybe she would have. I think she needs to be the Yuki. I think she would have all of these personalities up in front and not at like a pancake breakfast for 5 people, but like on shows, like in the face. Yes. She would know how to do it. Like, absolutely.
I think she needs to take over Michelle Kwan's life. Do you see Michelle? Yeah. She was skating again in that circle. We have some friends that get upset that Michelle doesn't leave the center circle. She actually kind of did today on the ice when she was skating to Ellie Goulding.
But then when you said that...
Didn't Michelle skate to your song once before, the year that she didn't jump because of the hip in 2006? Didn't Michelle skate to your song before? This is your song.
Yeah.
Or was it something else that she skated to? Anyway, she skated to Ellie Goulding singing it. But she did kind of leave. Michelle Kwan was wearing... You know how, like... jeans, like the holes are back that we all wore during our college years when like the ribs were in, and it was like very Mary Kate, and Ashley. That was like the whole grunge coming back era with the
I thought they just wore like potato sacks.
Well, there was a whole lot. Like the holes that the jeans were in. Well, they're now back, but they're like more strategically placed, less, right? Michelle was wearing leggings that had holes in them, and I messaged Michelle and I said, Michelle, what? 1, what is going on with your camel spin? And 2, what is going on with these leggings? And she said that she was running out of time at the end of the session, and she was really tired, and she didn't have time to refilm the camel. And then she said that she would change her leggings next time because they upset me, and I felt like they really did.
But they're designed to look that way, you're saying.
Do you understand how expensive any athletic wear that Michelle Kwan is wearing is? I mean, It looks like just leggings, it's like at least $100, right? Just for the pants, okay? And for them to have holes in it, Jonathan, it was too far.
At these prices, no. I expect quality when I'm spending this much. Although maybe she still gets stuff for free. You never know.
I did think, Michelle likes to wear all black, and she wore blue, which I thought was a stretch from her. By the way, I could watch her just go up on her toe picks. I was trying to think, like, what is it about Michelle? She's, like, not really doing anything of substance per se, and yet it's mesmerizing, and it's literally...
It takes you back immediately. I get that old feeling. Just that stop up on the roll toe, it just brings you back, and suddenly in that like glimmer, you see her then. To me, it's nostalgic.
The nuance of her balance over the blade is what really is so killer. Even when she's doing a spin, and I like that Michelle's spins have never improved in like 20 years. And she wasn't really giving us new jump combinations, so what was Michelle working on in those lessons all those years? Anyway.
Maintaining. She had a lot to maintain.
She did. She was very busy. But
yeah,
she was like doing these spin, and I was like, oh, Michelle is like shifting her weight on her blade and giving us like artistry and moves with her and Karen and skating with long hair. It was fabulous. I was like, you go, Michelle, okay? You go, all right?
And she's just doing it for fun, right? She's not gearing up for something.
No. Yeah. But Kris Jenner would have her out in the public, okay?
Yes, always. She never would have let her leave.
Oh, my God. So I was listening to this podcast called 1+1, and it has different things about when two people come together.
I get it? Is it two? Okay.
It's like when two people come together. And they had one about John Lennon and Paul McCartney that was really cool, but they had to take it down because of music rights and issues and stuff.
They're very difficult.
As if the Beatles don't have enough damn money. Okay?
Right.
Really?
Okay.
Really?
Yeah. Paul's just giving it away to that ex-wife. Yeah.
The ex-wife with the one leg that was on Dancing with the Stars. I mean, come on, Jonathan. You know.
I remember both the Kathy Griffin and Joan Rivers take on her. So, yes. Okay, we'll keep moving.
What happened to her? She married a young guy. That was a man.
Oh, I was like, Joan Rivers? Dave, you haven't heard? Oh, you mean, okay, Stella.
No.
Okay.
But I did figure out one of the things that I'm getting you for your apartment.
Tell me. Or is I have to wait?
No, because I need to know if you have one already. I feel like, but I thought it would be fabulous.
Okay,
I've always wanted to get one, but it like doesn't really fit with my style. But I figured I think this would be kind of perfect for you. Jonathan, do you have any Joan Rivers Fabergé eggs? The ones that she used to sell on QVC with Kathy Levin? What were they called? Imperial Treasures, right?
Well, because there's only so many of the actual Imperial Fabergé eggs.
Yeah.
If you had one, it'd be worth tens of millions. You know what? Okay, moment of honesty. I would never display it. I would display it on the closet, on a closet shelf though, where all my stuff is.
Right, I would like it to come out every time I came over. You'd
I would take it out. I would take it out, and I'm gonna do these. I collect Art Deco vases, and I would clear them all, and I would just put the one little egg there for you on a shelf.
Come on, wouldn't you be so happy if you owned a Joan Rivers Fabergé? Oh! It looks like royalty. You have to watch her sell them.
Only if you and I could sit in my two chairs and talk about it.
Let me tell you something, Jonathan. I have gone back when I'm stuck in traffic and just played the video of Joan talking about her Fabergé eggs. And she's selling them from 1998. And the women that watch QVC, they're calling her up and they're like, oh, Joan, I love them. $120. That's like a family going out to dinner. And that food just goes through you. This you could have forever. And Joan is like, oh, I love it. There are very few people that I'm mesmerized watching sell on QVC. Joan is one of them, a true gift. And the other, if you want to really crack me up, Lisa Rinna selling her dusters. Just the way
there's a facial expression thing going on there.
And the way she uses her voice. Oh, and it's got a pocket. It's substantial, and yet it's lightweight. It's the art of bullshit that I find so incredible.
Uh-huh. It's a bit pageant answer, isn't it?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Lisa Rinna, selling it on QVC. I enjoy, anytime I know she's going to be on, I have to watch. My mom doesn't want one of the dusters. So if you would like one and would like me to send one to you, perhaps write to us and why you should get a duster. We can...
Amazing. A TSL giveaway.
Anyway, as we move on to actual skating things, tomorrow morning, now you don't care about this because she's not your musical artist, Taylor Swift's video, that Taylor Swift is having a Pride music video. There've been all sorts of rumors about Taylor's orientation for a long time because she dated a bunch of boys for 3 months. They were all publicity relationships. But anyway.
Okay.
Now she's deciding, her career is stalling a bit. So she loves the gays, and she's having a music video about it, and she's penning letters to politicians. She's very strategic, like Kris Jenner. I don't hate it. I just acknowledge that it's true. I kind of...
Yeah.
You would just have to see
she's doing the hustle.
The deliberate hustle, right? I mean, you got to appreciate it. Adam Rippon is going to be in Taylor Swift's music video with RuPaul, with Adam Lambert, and the Fab. She's basically getting every current gay.
It's like, yeah, I'm going to get his views.
And Michael Shanley, of course, goes.
That following.
Is Adam
Gus in it? Is Gus Kenworthy in it?
I don't know. It flaps. It was.
I wonder if she has Adam in it. I could see her having Gus in it.
I don't feel like you've watched Queer Eye. I don't think you've seen the new one on Netflix. Right?
Well, I know enough because it's interesting because everyone talks to me about that Jonathan guy.
He's a lot, yes.
JVN, again.
He takes a while to warm up to. And when I don't watch the show for a while and I turn it on, I find him irritating. And then after a while, I get into it again.
You know what it is, because obviously we're just having Skype therapy, is when I see that and it's about being true to yourself, I still find that a caricature, and so I appreciate that you are encouraging people that feel they can't be themselves to be themselves. I think that's amazing, but I'm not really buying that that's your real self. I think you're just...
But he really is like a very true skating fan. Like
real, because he'll post like Medvedeva, and we see him like do things, and
he does have substance. They just don't let it come out because it's so edited down.
I think just the same way we talk about Johnny sometimes, like we know Johnny's a little more intellectual, a little more sensitive, a little more quiet than this NBC persona.
But Johnny produces that himself.
Oh, especially because he knows it works, but I think he's being told it works. I think they like the tokenism of it.
Well, that's what he's been told, and that's how he's gotten attention. It's been reinforced.
Right. But it does also, there's a strange thing happening in this pop culture world outside of skating where this is like yet another total symbol that Adam has replaced Johnny in this kind of
it's like two...
Because that would have been Johnny. That was Johnny with Lady Gaga.
It was Johnny 10 years ago. It's token... Yeah. It's like two women fighting for attention. It's now two token gays fighting to see...
Yeah, except one not as relevant anymore.
Although I've read... So, my mom got the first two chapters of Adam's book, and there are some really funny parts to it.
Because you sent me a couple pages of it, and a little bit,
it's written a little cringy, and sort of, but it does make you laugh. There's this whole part about...
But I can hear it. I can hear the sassy tone.
If he reads it on the audiobook, I think it could win a Grammy. Okay? Him, so I don't think I'm giving anything away. There's no thing written here, but just in the early pages of Adam's book, there's this whole thing about that he was he had a cookie tin from back in the day. When Grandma would have cookies that she would buy at ShopRite, and they'd be the sugar cookies. And he said that there was an ice skating scene on them, and that there was a woman with a muff, and that he decided.
And he goes on about
the muff.
That was the part. Yeah, that was the part I was cringing at.
Who is his ghostwriter? Because the ghostwriter was obviously very into Adam and knew how to bring it out of each other. They definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, these words were sculpted by someone else because it has a kind of slick wit.
But it still sounds like him. So that Adam doesn't have time to write the whole book, right? That's the reality of this. He spoke to this guy a lot. It's Adam's voice. It's not he clearly spent a lot of time on his book. It just also they've clearly sculpted this together because there's a lot of money and attention in Adam's career. He is with higher level people at IMG than the normal skating people. So. Now that they've all merged. Anyway, it's fascinating, but the whole extended thing about the muff that he did, I was really laughing. This book will be excerpted.
So what I felt was the comedic voice that this author was helping to pen, clearly, I admired. I enjoyed some of it. And it will do an interesting thing that we talk about often, where I don't think the skating community is going to go for it.
It's not really for the skating people.
And it's not for them. It's not for them, and they're not going to like it.
Yeah.
I think those of us on the other side of the skating spectrum that kind of have a perspective outside of that world, I think we're going to enjoy it.
Yeah, Johnny's book didn't really do either, because the only big thing about Johnny's is he waited to come out for the book sales. He probably got a higher advance. Because it was going to be when he officially came out. Because that's the way the business worked then.
Yeah, Johnny's wasn't outrageous enough to be outrageous.
No, but his cover was outrageous, but then he didn't really say anything crazy.
And then the skating was quasi-insightful, but it wasn't really for skating insiders. It wasn't really for skating outsiders. And it wasn't truly a real story about...
There are some hidden gems in there.
Oh, I thought...
About the male pair skater that he was hooking up with. If you know what the ref... that is...
Right.
Interesting.
Well, and even when the officials made him feel weird about his outfit, so he just lied and said he was sick.
Was that really the truth? I mean, I don't know.
Well,
There's
I don't
so
know.
much like questionable. What is the truth?
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
Anyway, Johnny's book was interesting. Adam's, I think, will be better. It's punny, right? Beautiful on the outside. I mean, come on. The whole thing is...
Yeah, it has a tongue-in-cheek quality from the get-go. And I'll be intrigued to read it.
Yeah. I hope he does the audiobook. That's all I want, okay? It really upset me. It really upsets me when authors don't read their own audiobook. Like, Miss Val reads her audiobook, and it's like talking to Miss Val the whole time.
I listen to both Joan Rivers and Kathy do theirs.
Yes.
And I always like listening to the David Sedaris ones, because if he ever wanted a female voice, he'd bring in Amy Sedaris, who I think is a comic genius. So, yeah. I hope he does it too.
Can I just tell you something?
Yeah.
For our first anniversary, I was really, like, heartfelt, and I got Michael Shanley, like, a bunch of things I think he would love. I got him the book of Me Talk Pretty One Day.
Oh, it has great book. I think one of the best ones. It
has sat on his nightstand, unopened, for 2 years. Okay? We were driving to Georgia. I was getting so annoyed that he had not listened to the book that I bought the audiobook again so that he could be forced to listen to some of it. And he was like laughing and like, oh, that's really good. He has still never opened that darn book that is on his nightstand. It's just there collected.
Now, he did, David Sedaris wrote a book called Holidays on Ice.
Yes, the first chapter about the Santaland Diaries. Amazing.
Yeah, see, and that's everyone's favorite. My favorite is he gives a brutal review of a children's childhood, like Christmas play.
Which story is it?
A vicious, scathing review, and it's just like a children's, like Sunday school nativity pageant.
So I had a high school English teacher that told me that I would love him back.
Yeah.
And then that's how I started to get into it. Well, yeah she was kind of. But
yeah, she got you. She saw you, Dave.
It was funny. Yeah, she actually is the one that really inspired me to get serious about writing. So she was a really difficult teacher. Anyway, she was... Funny aside, but it was sophomore year English, right? And she had all these honor students that were all like type A, right? And she must do this every year, but we had to read this book called Country Lovers. Or this short story called Country Lovers. And she was like, they went down by the river. You know, it's part of like, it's about like...
In a van down by the river.
I think the story is about like a white boy, like a plantation owner's son, and like... the African-American girl who's like the plantation.
A Romeo and Juliet type
Yes,
version.
right.
Yeah.
And like they go down by the river, like forbidden love.
They play Kissing You.
And she's like, what happens down by the river? And everyone's just like sitting around, like first period, like sophomore.
What's the age group here?
15.
Sophomore. Okay.
Yeah. She's like this big 6'4" woman, and she's broad and strong, and like, and she starts yelling, "They had sex! They had sex! This is interpretive literature, everyone! They had sex! And we're gonna talk about things, okay, in here? This is what literature is about. They had sex, people." And she like writes it on the board, and I was like, oh gosh, like, this is...
Writing it in your notebook.
I felt she would really appreciate ice stands. Okay,
Exactly.
It was a moment. All right, I just want to.
Or the muff section in Adam's book. Yeah.
The muff section, yes.
Yeah.
He's talking
what
about
is he making a joke about? Yeah.
He's talking about muff diving. Okay, that was the joke.
Oh my god.
All right. Anyway,
we get lots of that when you sing La Boheme in English, because the whole final thing is he buys her a muff. But, okay.
Oh. Goodness. All right. So let's move on to the skating news. In little skating news here, as we're 24 minutes into the show.
Oh my god.
Wait, no, we covered Adam. That was good.
Okay.
Igor is now coaching Terry's daughter, Diana Davis. And I don't really know the name of her partner. It doesn't really matter. It's really... We're not on a first-name basis. I don't know what they skated to last year. It's pretty much...
But so does that mean she's going to be in the States? Or is Igor hopping that much?
It means that she's living in... Look, do you think Terry has time to, like, oversee her daughter? There's clearly, like, none of the top ice dance coaches are in Russia.
Well, but this is such a fascinating twist.
If they wanted her to bring to the top and they thought that Krylova was worthwhile, they would have sent her to Krylova.
I miss Krylova. I wish she was more relevant, but okay.
They have sent her to Igor. This means Igor is going to have the Russian judge vote, too. This is the power play now, right? So now we have Diana Davis, who's next to that Avonlea Wynn, who's always like a little acting older than she is on Instagram, even though I'm very fascinated by it. She's such a good performer. And then also Nikolai's daughter has been working with Igor too.
Annabelle, right?
And is Massimo Scali, it's been unconfirmed, but he was doing people's programs for Igor and Pasquale, but he was originally with Marina, and then we thought he was going to go back to Italy, but it seems like he may be at least consulting or part-time with Igor and Pasquale.
Well, he was like a choreographic nonstop scene for a while there, and it seems like, remember one of the Japanese nationals that we watched one year, everyone had a Massimo program.
Yeah.
It was insane, and then his name just seems to have not done as much in the forefront.
Like Igor and Marina, and even Nikolai to an extent, you can cut these Russian power players down for a while. You can never count them out. They are like a cockroach in Cher. They will come back. They'll be left. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what happens to them. It doesn't matter if, like, you know.
And I'm trying to think back at the irony because of the outrage at Medvedeva. But I guess it wasn't that she went to Toronto; it's that she went to a Canadian coach in Toronto.
Yeah, Igor is like, Russian. They're going to take...
So is that enough? Like, if she had gone to
he is considered.
Alexei,
listen, Russia takes their the way that ice dance was okay when Virtue and Moyer and Davis and White were winning was, of course, the fact that Americans had to go to Russians to get to the top, which is correct. So that's how that works.
So it is more about the person's nationality and not also the location.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, come on.
Okay.
They take Igor as their own.
Well, I could see it just as irrationally being about why are you even there? Why are you even at their facilities? You know what I mean?
No. They're okay with it. Okay. Remember, they had sent Elyinik there, but she was going through emotional things. And then, anyway, it all went...
Because I wonder if there's a thing that they have against people like Igor and Marina.
No, I think they're okay. No, because Tarasa and Morozov are also with Marina. She's coaching.
No. I just meant, like, do they wish that they were still in Russia?
Probably, but they've sent Russians to them in the past. It's just been too expensive for them to...
Yeah.
Because the coaches there, it's a different funding structure. Like, you get salary, you get the end of the table money, but, like, there's all sorts of things. But, you know, when they come to America and they have their hourly rate, and it's all negotiated. Like, I'm sure the Federation isn't paying the full $140 an hour, right? But it's all negotiated. And there's all benefits, okay? You take a Russian team...
Like you're saying, there's something out of it for him, too.
Oh, please. Yeah. You get the Russian support with the judges. Avonlea gets a couple extra votes, couple placements. It's all... So you were asking me before we signed on, like, how good is Diana Davis? And I was like, she's Russian and a Terry's daughter. If they want her to be good, she could become very good if they want her to be, and they put her with the right people.
Yeah, but there still has to be a limitation to some of the talent. Do you know what I mean? Like, I remember just in some of the videos we watched, like, she was having such a tough time in seemingly every amount of footage that we saw of her. And we know, like, Nikolai's daughter, Annabelle, showed such great promise when she came on the scene. And, you know...
But if they see an acting ability / skating ability in a Terry's daughter... Because obviously she's a newer ice dancer, but if they put her with like a career male ice dancer and they think that she can match him, you can obviously work that to the top, and with smoke and mirrors, you can make them extremely...
But it's interesting, these things with such a powerful mother. Does that child become as powerful, or is that child always in a shadow and doesn't really know how to take ownership?
It's like Liza and Judy, Jonathan, you know, and Lorna Love.
But it was an exception that they were both stars in their own right. Yes. More often we see someone who has no room to be a star if the parent is one.
Yeah, and it was Liza really a star in her own merit, or was she? You know, that's another story. That's another argument for another day, okay?
Exactly.
All right, but is Lorna the real talent, okay?
That's right.
And what about Barbara's sister, okay? She has a wonderful voice, okay, that Diana Kine, all right?
Somebody give her a chance.
All right, so anyway, Diana with Igor. So it's interesting, Igor, I thought it was more... fascinating that Nikolai sent his own daughter to work with Igor, because he can obviously coach ice dance, but he wasn't the best ice dancer. If you watch videos of Nikolai as an ice dancer, he was kind of terrible. like in like.
And it's never. You don't want to be learning from your parent. I'm sorry. We know that when that has happened, and it can't be as functional as if that was not the case.
But Nikolai is putting like all of his attention behind Stolbova, and then some like splitting the Weaver attention. So like his own daughter isn't getting his own attention, which like in gymnastics was a huge thing for Anna Lee when her father took over China. It was like a huge emotional thing that your dad doesn't think that you're good enough. I mean, there are tons of issues there. It's kind of psychological trauma. But Annabelle, because originally Andrew Laverick was like hired to be skating with Annabelle and teaching her how to ice dance, and then not an option at the moment. So, it's just going to be really fascinating. But Igor is definitely rebuilding. He and Pasquale teamed up. That's a power play move. They're working. They got the Atari support. They have that's like high level Russian Federation priority support. So I think the daughter has a decent potential to move up in the world. She's got a lot working for her. She has darker hair going on though. For a while, she and the mother were looking like twins. It looked like, but now it looked like the hair was darker.
It's gotta be a tough. Nothing she does will ever not be hyper-analyzed and seen,
But that's also the only reason anyone would ever pay attention to her as an ice dancer in the beginning, right? In the beginning, you want to see the mother before she stands on her own merits. So.
Right.
And Marina's son, remember, they put him in every discipline going.
They really tried, yeah.
Remember when he was skating? Remember the really awful Kuklova and Novitsky Firebird program at the Olympics in 2010? And then the next year, she was skating with Fedor Andreev. And it was like, we'll put you with the 6-foot Abercrombie model. And she was like 4'10", and it was not working. But
funny that. Okay.
They had a moment. They had a brief moment. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, we did see Hubbell and Donohue were doing for their rhythm dance. We've talked about the Smash program for a long time that we wanted Ashley Wagner to do. They're using one of the songs from Smash, Let's Be Bad, as they were dancing. It looked pretty good off ice. But so it looks like they're going to be giving us a Marilyn program. No, I liked the actual thing. Hubbell as Marilyn Monroe, I don't know if it's going to be too much for me, because that's like a lot in your face, but it could be just right. What do you think? Right? Like, is it too much?
Just runs the risk. When I think of someone doing Marilyn Monroe, gosh, that sounds terrible.
Is it too campy? Like, is it too just?
It seems, when we use you use that term Halloween costume, the dress, I picture her in a wig practically.
And a push-up. Definite push-up, right?
And there's going to be some sort of skirt floral. I don't know. But I hope it's something more sophisticated something that captures more of a Mad Men kind of vibe of that era, because he kind of has that sexy, cool look going on, and I just don't see her. She's so much stronger than Marilyn.
Yeah.
Marilyn was flirty, I would think, and coy, and Madison is strength and empowerment. So I don't know. I'll be interested to see how.
Listen, she is driving her Honda all the time, working those sponsorships. Okay.
Yeah, she is.
She
should.
She should.
Yeah.
She is. You could tell she is the engine behind this team. If they want to have the Mad Men vibe, should they keep Zach off of social media? Because we've always described him as being.
Depends who you ask.
We've always discussed him as being that guy who's drinking milk out of the carton, out of the fridge.
But don't you think there's but he knows he is. He's that guy in the milk ad with a 6-pack and a low-rise sweatpant on.
Or wants to be, right?
Yeah, or yes. Or is that on Instagram?
So you did send me
recent photos. Yeah, but he was doing Instagram stories. And we know thirsty gay gentlemen on Instagram that do things like this, that are hey, look at my new shoes, and there happens to be an inappropriate inclusion of other parts of the body in the shot as well.
You know that a gay man who wants to show you his new shoes will be wearing the shoes and underwear, and that's it on Instagram.
Right, and you will see both in this random shot. So with Zach, there was a series of him like playing with his dog, which is not a euphemism, but like he had like these like thighs out, and like the dog was like all center. You know when you can do that Instagram thing where it goes dee 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 dee, and it like zooms in. Like if you were to have done that effect, it would have zoomed right in on an inappropriate part. And I was like, this is actually also, if we're just being completely honest about the whole thing, that is a total social media strategy that I see people doing all the time. I'm just not used to seeing that kind of thing from a skater.
Now, how come you haven't gotten me the Zach cameo yet? You know, no one has gotten it for us yet. You know that if you want, like, Bethany Frankel to say hello to you, you could pay, like, $250 for her to give you, like, a happy birthday. That's how celebrities make extra money. Of course, Karen Chen used to be on there for $7. If you wanted Karen Chen to say hello to you, you could pay $7 and she'll say hi. Zach is now on there. I think he's at 20 to say hello for people with his micro fame. Jonathan, I'm just saying, like, I'm just waiting for it. Like, Zach every day to say hello to someone. I'm like...
Just like in those shorts with those thighs. Like,
yeah, like, how much
really
do you have
nice
to pay? Like, Zach, I think you should have 2 tiers. Like, I think there should be, like, a shirtless Zach post. You know,
you go 25 for that.
How about I go 35 for shirtless Zach at the gym being like, hey, Jonathan, happy birthday. Okay, come on, okay? I'd go 40 if he drinks the actual milk from a carton, okay?
Yeah, amazing, amazing. 50, I just get small shorts and a squat where he's like, hope you're having a great day.
All right, there's just something about Zach. It's just... Oh.
And it's endearing. I do find it endearing.
I enjoy that the mother told us once that she carries a concealed gun. I don't know.
I know, but I get her. I don't know.
I love the mother. I'm fascinated.
You know, she has her license and her training, but she, I get her.
I love the mother. I'm fascinated by the mother.
Yes. A powerful, strong woman.
Hubbell's family, like, if you call her a strong woman, they get upset with us, even though we really like Hubbell. I don't know. They're, like, not in on the joke or something. I don't know. It's, like, not as fun, but they...
Well, but that's... I don't understand. Like, yeah, I'm not quite sure either, because it's interesting how antiquated some people view it. Like, strength and empowerment is an insult?
I know. They're just... The fact that we didn't like the Romeo and Juliet program, we just thought they were better than that, okay? Anyway, as we moving along, I heard a rumor that Chalk has, like, the killer free dance of all time this season.
Well, I'm sorry. When they came out in January, I was like, whoa. I am doing a 360 right now, how much I was enjoying them, because they used to be a real tough watch for me. And I was like, well, at least I know I'm not, like, just stuck in my ways, but because, like, they showed me something different and I am here for it, and you knew it was just the beginning.
I believe Marie France is going to deliver, and that there's speculation, okay, that it is going to be giving us all of, like, that
they can do
dancing Middle Eastern kind of thing. So,
yes, yes, that sounds incredible.
Yes, and we did see that Tarasa and Morozov are working with Charlie White. So you know, Marina's like, my boy Charlie. You know that she. Yeah. Marina was looking very tan in Florida, and kind of interesting that Tarasa and Morozov are, like, under her thumb. Charlie's under her thumb.
This could be very interesting because I thought Charlie did outstanding work for Vanessa and Morgan, which I think means not only that his choreography is great, but he's catering to who's in front of him, which I think is important. Like, I don't necessarily want to know who's choreographed the program. I just want to see that it's enhancing whoever it is. And again, Tarasov and Morozov has so much to work with.
And they've always struggled with programs, consistency, and their interpersonal relationship, and that seems to be Marina. Really,
I like that someone in that federation was like, enough. We've let you play this ridiculous game. Get serious.
Well, Elton John didn't want to work with them anymore. Is what she was saying. She was annoyed. They were all annoyed.
The best thing that ever happened. I hope.
She's only consulting now. She was at Pair Camp while they were getting their programs. So Elton John was working, and so was Frank. But let's discuss that Pair Camp. Okay. The video.
Some video surfaced.
I know. And I love that Mishigi, like, loved it and, like, tagged us back. And, like, I get that he, like, doesn't quite get the joke, but it's incredible. Mishigi, one of the great PR people in skating, knows how to promote himself.
He knows how to do that hustle.
A hustler, right? The video of the pairs dancing to Sam Smith. There were 2 of them that initially surfaced. It was first the ladies, then the ladies, and the men. Jonathan, I watched that video so many times, and I tried to get you to watch it all week. I sent it to you.
I know
more than twice. I tagged
it.
you on Instagram, and you wouldn't respond, Jonathan. Meanwhile, you're sending me Zach's crotch midweek, and I'm like, "That's great." But did you watch the video of the pairs? And like,
yes, I did. But I felt so vulnerable for them that it was that thing. If you ever see me when I'm truly uncomfortable in a scene, I look down. Like, in a situation, if I actually start to feel so physically uncomfortable, I break eye contact and I look at the floor. And I could barely lift my head up to continue to watch the video.
Are you kidding? La even was like texting me about it nonstop. She knew who some of the bit players were, like in the back of the group. Like the girl standing next to Alexa. Because I was literally watching, and like you can see, it's fascinating. And I want your take, and when I was watching it, Ashley Kane knew all the moves. I felt like Ashley Kane, we know, like, her wedding was a moment. She clearly dances with gays all the time, skates with one, seems like she was surrounded by them at her ring.
Well, and has that ability that dancers are required to have, I believe, much more and in a different way than skaters, because skaters aren't always learning new programs every time.
Yes.
So I think that ability to retain all of those, I guess, routines, or whatever you want to call them, that you could tell who was like, wait, what's next? And someone like Ashley was always in front of it.
Oh, she was in front of it.
It was interesting about the learning style.
She looks like an only child when she performs, but did a very good job, right? You have Tara Kane, and like skating, she didn't actually know all the moves, but she was constantly just giving it for the camera. She knew she was in the front row dancing behind Misha, and she was like, yes, I went to Grant Hochstein's wedding. Like, she was, like, definitely, like, giving you, like, the most, right? Constantly.
Okay.
Like, didn't really know how to do all the turns. Like, I noticed that, like, Ashley was better at the actual choreography. But Tara Kane was, like, toddlers and tiaras, like, vamping for the camera.
Yeah, she was selling it.
Selling it, like... Again, like skating, doesn't have all the talent, but knows how to just sell it, okay?
Yeah.
And then Jonathan will still be talking about your Shailin program, like, years later. He'll be like, I love that
That was the only
Shailin.
good one, yeah.
Right. You have Haven Denny, who actually did know the moves. She was kind of hidden in the back, kind of forgotten. The way she and Brandon are.
Because when we talk about also, like, when we were talking about the Miss New York and all that kind of stuff, you see who in a group setting like that, who your eye is drawn to. Yes, we're looking for people, and we know, we're like, where is Alexa? You know, and this and like all this sort of stuff.
We'll get to that.
All right. But Haven was difficult to find.
Yeah.
And that to me was also an indicator maybe about how I view the skating sometimes. It lacks a presence and a memory.
But she was very good, actually. She just didn't have...
She was doing it, but it just almost, like when we talk about important or not important, like it just didn't pop.
Now, Alexa was the star of the video. Alexa, did you zoom in? I don't believe that you've zoomed in and found Alexa watching this.
Well, I watched Alexa in it, though.
She was in the back in the red pants, right?
Yeah.
She was always like 2 beats behind, looked very confused, didn't know what was happening, and she was like, I don't know, Kris and I are from Colorado. I don't know what he is doing. Like, what? Like, she just looked like...
Culture shock.
Tired and over it, and also, like, confused, like, where am I? And just her overall expression, like, it was a depends moment. Like, she, first of all, she looked fantastic. Like, the outfit was good. She's, like, a new girl in California. And, like, I think she has potential to fit in with California. I can't picture Kris in California long term.
Yeah,
no.
And I know, like, I went through my own hair crisis in the fall, but I was like, Kris, I think he looks better with shorter hair.
Like, what is Kris doing in California? Like, they can't go fishing there. He's not going to go fishing on the Santa Monica Pier, okay? Like, with those smelly dogs. Like, what's going to happen with that? You know,
yeah, what's
like,
their California?
What's his California? I don't know. Maybe he could get, like, one of those old VW vans, like Scooby-Doo. Like, we could drive around. I could see Kris doing that, like...
Solving groovy mysteries.
I could picture Alexa, like, having, like, at least a California moment, even if it's not long term. I could picture her getting a Coachella outfit and, like...
Oh, yeah, playing beach volleyball. Like, yeah.
But if you thought that Alexa looked uncomfortable and, like, confused in the video, Kris had absolutely no ability. In the second video, Kris was, like... so lovably god-awful in this video. Like, he's just not... Kris wasn't made to dance with Misha Gi. He's never been required to. Delilah probably doesn't support that. And you know what? He just looked out of place.
Like a fish out of water, because he's fishes.
Now, have you noticed that since Tim LeDuc has teamed up with Ashley Kane, he's become much more, like, gravitating for attention, right? And if you watch the second video, he's, like, trying to outdo Misha and Ashley, but like, giving it too much.
You mentioned this to me, and I thought about it, and I went back and I watched it again, and I was like, no, to me, he's the one doing it.
No. To me, it was, like, too much.
You think it's too much, and I was like...
He is a stem, not a flower, okay? You're with Ashley Kane.
Why can't he be the flower? But he is the flower. You can't squash a flower. Let a flower be a flower.
Ashley Kane's own husband was a second-class citizen at their wedding. That was all about Ashley. That was all about Ashley throwing the bouquet from the second thing. It was all about her wedding day. He was a prop, okay? That was not about a couple. That was about her. And that's what we kind of like about Ashley Kane. Tim, he's like competing with Ashley. It was too much. The one who was actually surprisingly good was Spencer Howe, was like the real star of that video.
Although I thought Danny did a good job. I was curious.
Of course, Danny did a good job.
I know, but I was like, Danny, don't let me down. And I was like, okay, good.
I know. I'm still getting used to the shaved head. I don't know if I'm here for it just yet. He's growing into it.
It's
too severe.
It's a bit severe. That's the right word for it. Yeah.
Because he was a good dancer. He just didn't look like he had the confidence that he should.
In some of these moments when they got to the ice, I would think the space. Because much of like
Brandon was a bumbling buffoon in the back as well.
But what Tim does is he does not apologize for taking up the space. Not when he skates, not when he's dancing.
He doesn't. So he was giving you jazz hands in that video, and it wasn't required, you know.
But you know what? He made it his own, and that's what I was looking for. But like even when they're doing this together, so many of these skaters skate small and inside and don't project and open. And so you saw it physically, like there's often no room to.
I know, but it was kind of like watching Tim, it was like watching when they did the Flapper program with him and Ashley. Like, he's supposed to be the supportive guy, and like he was like, no, I want to be the girl in the dress. And like there's just always that like...
This is where I want to see Tim LeDuc.
Yes.
This is where I want to see.
He puts it on too much to entertain her, rather than...
And it's good. If that was their short program energy, was that, and then... I mean, that 2014 Nationals long...
He didn't act like that in 2014. He was a gorgeous skater.
It was like legit classic ballet technique, and it was...
When he gave you that falling leaf, it was more classical ballet falling leaf. He didn't need to do any shtick. Right. It was gorgeous skating. He was with Russians. It was gorgeous. Okay?
Yes, it was completely old school Russian looking, and it was incredible. And I wish they could get her to do a classical program.
He made a real error ending that partnership. Anyway, that was...
Oh, with Dee Dee?
Yeah, they were going places. That was...
I thought so. I really enjoyed it. I don't know.
Okay. Anyway. All right. Let's discuss, because Hanyu did the Quad Lutz, Jonathan.
He did it.
You know, it was like a social media moment. And I watched it.
It was a moment in the thing where then everyone comes up and like celebrates him immediately afterward. I was like, wouldn't that feel amazing to like accomplish anything and immediately have that kind of response?
But I mean, Nathan does land them on the regular. So like, it was great that he did it. The Lutz is not his best jump. It's probably his weakest, actually. Oh my God, the Hanyu fans are probably exploding right now, but we said weakest. Okay, everyone has a best jump and a worst jump. Okay, you have to rank them. When they're all good, it's fine. Okay.
Yeah. And he does do that thing where he did, even though it was successful, he does quasi-land in a shoot the duck position.
It was landed like a Megan Duhamel throw. You saw it, I saw it, it happened. Okay? But
what do you do? I mean, I was thinking about this too, because we were talking about, you know, this is the one he injured himself on. Is this necessary? Should he be doing this? But yet he wants to push the sport forward. And it kind of brought me back to...
And he's still talking about that crazy quad axle, which I don't believe we're ever going to actually see.
So just stop with that. But
you know, his fans believe it's going to happen with every bated breath. They're like...
At what cost? Do you know what I mean? Until he, like, just explodes. But Patrick... What upset me about Patrick Chen was he kind of had this dominance and never pushed himself beyond the status quo. So I do have to admire someone that is not going to rest on their laurels. And
he's not just going to accept second place to Nathan. He's going to push it and be like, I'm going to win. And I respect that, and it makes it exciting. Because I'm already thinking, like, okay, Nathan realistically can't add more quads, right? Like, realistically, that boy is maxed out. He was at a show last night saying he was exhausted. Of course he's exhausted. He's been doing all of these shows, balancing school and skating. Like, he likely needs a break, and they're probably not giving him one.
Yeah, because he didn't release forever from the competition season itself.
Yeah.
Like, it's that come down, yeah.
So you know eventually it's going to catch up with him. If it doesn't catch up with him now, it's going to catch up with him during the fall season. Like, eventually, either going to get sick or injured or something. But it's interesting because Hanyu is taking away some of his advantage, right? Like with the jumps, because realistically, if Hanyu lands a quad Lutz, and he also did a quad flip last night, we don't have video of it, but he did attempt it. So we don't know if that means a fall, a 2 foot, a step out, whatever. But he's close to obviously getting his full arsenal of quads. So if he can stay healthy and start to deliver more quads in a program, he already has really the components over Nathan. Nathan's going to have to continually push the artistry. And we did see him working with Shaylin again, which I know you love. You love Shaylin. You love Shaylin and Nathan.
Not always, but I did enjoy their collaboration.
You enjoy their collaboration, Jonathan. You can own it. You love a Nathan and Shaylin program. You love a Shaylin and Tara Kane program. I don't love a Shaylin and Ashley program. That's what gives me pause. Yeah. You can own. It's who you have to work with. You know. Imagine if Ashley did Smash with Shaylin. We probably would have liked it much more than that stupid La La Land. Okay, that was never anything.
The La La Land was fine once we finally saw it.
It was like for that woman Tracy that would message me about her and Gracie constantly. Okay, like I'd be like, oh, God, I don't care. Anyway, Ash, I think Nathan. It's interesting. Nathan, it looked like there were some big movements happening, big angular movements. I think he's going to really push it. He's doing a lot of shows. He really needs to perform with as much confidence, projection, and extrovertedness as Nathan.
And I don't see how it could go anywhere.
As Hanyu.
Yeah, because he's been doing all these shows, even if he starts to do them at a higher level, they will always help that performance.
Maybe Raphael should have him dance with Mishigi just constantly. Okay? Just like
that, yeah.
It could be like his personal Jeff Buttle, who Hanyu has. They could like dance together constantly. Okay, couldn't you just picture Nathan being in that?
Yeah, I'm trying to think like, God, could you imagine if they made those guys do it?
Oh my God, I would love it. If we could just film it, and we should keep releasing these videos. I mean, look, I wanted to dance. Look, I downloaded the song. I was like, Sam Smith, let's do it. Okay? Like, oh my God. It's really just go back and watch Alexa at least twice a day in the back of that video where there are all these girls that are like clamming for attention in the front, and then you have Alexa in the back being like, is this over yet? God damn it. You know, like, it was so...
Yeah, I'm impressed that they were all playing along. I could have seen someone in their position being like, this is not what we do.
90% of them were off the beat, and that's what we love about US pair skaters. They all give off the vibe that they're like the gritty Kala Urbanski type working in the diner. Like they're the diner waitress, and that's what the US pairs have going for them. They're just gritty and...
Grit is the right word. Yeah.
I was saying that I felt like we need Nisha, a new group of women, okay? I want to see Aliona, Vanessa James, Tarasova, from like Tarasova was not Voloshajar.
Yeah, not Tatiana Tarasova.
Megan Newhamel and Deanna, and maybe Valentina Marquet, and I want to see them do it with Sweet, right? And I want to see them, because Megan would be hilarious in that. She would
be competitive, and she would be getting it all right away.
All right away, but no fluidity. Just no fluidity.
But she'd be getting it. She would be able to check the boxes. Yeah.
Also, Aliona is going to have a girl. I predicted that. I voted girl on that thing. I felt feminine energy. I feel that Megan is going to have a boy. Do you feel like Aliona girl, Megan boy?
Oh, yeah, because Megan hasn't announced.
Megan has not announced.
I wonder if she's going to.
She's a couple weeks behind Aliona in life and in skating. Anyway, I think, I don't know. Megan and Bruno, boy or girl?
I don't know. Probably boy. No? Yeah. No. I think it's a girl. I think it's a girl also.
I want a girl. I want a girl, but I'm feeling boy. That's how I felt like.
Dave, we just want a healthy baby.
Shut up, Jonathan. Okay. Now what?
And we saw Jason's short program.
Yes, Ash.
Now, when you told me that, were you talking about the compilation he was making of Roheen yelling at him?
Well, yes, but then, which was amazing, because Roheen being.
It was very funny. It was. Very
I'm gonna
funny.
kill you if you do that.
Yeah,
But I did.
What kind of spin is that?
But I listened to the song. That's gonna go into the yoga mix likely. This song is gonna be grittier. Roheen is now being grittier with Jason. It's less sticky. It's more. First, Love is a Bitch, and now we have this song called...
And I started perusing because I found the video, because you had mentioned that it existed, and I went to Jason's Twitter feed. Okay. And he was posting photos of, I don't know, some sort of vacation pool.
Flag Day. The Flag Day was a lot. It was a lot to take in.
Yeah, representing
You
flag.
know Jason loves an American flag. You know,
yeah, who doesn't love a good flag? So I think he was just like posting these shirtless photos. And you were like, that's a man's body. Like, you're becoming a man. You no longer seem like a kid.
I didn't see the bar mitzvah photos. I did not see
Yeah, that's exactly right. Not in a lecherous way. I'm watching someone transition from high school to college.
Jason is growing up. This is...
Yeah, and I think there's something about his skating that reflects that. I felt that this year, especially in the short program work with Roheen. And I think they'll probably do it again. This time, the brief movements we were seeing were variations on the theme of their vocabulary, but slightly different enough that I was really intrigued by it.
Also, is Courtney Hicks not with Corey Aid this year? Does anyone know? She's been skating in Monument, but I didn't know if she just went there to get a program. Or is she a Scott Hamilton girl? You know, we don't have full Corey Aid updates anymore. I kind of miss Corey. I'm just going to put it out there. Like, you know, Jonathan, these people are all part of the fabric of our lives, okay? And
they really were for a brief period of time there.
Yes, okay, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
The entertainment. Anyway, Hanyu did do the quad flip. Medvedeva did a quad Salchow, landed on 2 feet. Now, we don't know how rotated, but she is gritty, too, going for it.
Where did that happen?
In Japan. They were finishing Fantasy on Ice, so they have a jump portion.
She did the quad in Japan?
Yes, they're just making it happen, okay? She's practicing.
Because I wonder who's facilitating, who's monitoring that process.
Like, she's probably, like, talking to Hanyu and getting tips how to jump from the boys.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
I'd be intrigued what
She's a smart girl. She doesn't... I don't think Evgenia needs someone to, like, brush her hair. I think she's a tough, gritty Katarina Witt type who is going to want to move ahead in the world, and she knows what she has to do.
Yeah, but we were having issues on triple Salchow, so the quad Salchow suddenly, like, on her own.
Because Frank Carroll is very much like you train from May until the end of September, and then that's what you put in your program. Evgenia did give us like a triple Salchow, triple loop out of nowhere in March. So I think if she keeps along on this quad Salchow, it's her big hope that she can like remain.
Well, or like you said, that the working on the quad Salchow suddenly gets everything else more solidly.
Yes, but I do think she's going to need it by the end of the year. By the end of the year, if she wants to, stay healthy, work on those skating skills with Tracy, keep working it, and give you Grand Dame performance.
Yeah, I'd be really intrigued to see the video because I really kind of want to see the technique at work. It was fascinating to see the Hanyu Quad Lutz, for instance, like at first.
Is Ghislaine in Japan right now? I imagine Ghislaine.
Well, that's what I'm wondering, and maybe he helped Evgenia a little bit on the side.
He hasn't been working with Evgenia. I don't know. Maybe he is there. Maybe he's there because I think if Hanyu wants to blow his nose, he has like 7 handlers that will give him the tissue. So Ghislaine may be with him. So
yeah,
there was something with like people were tagging us in something that like Johnny posted a thing about like something with flowers that Hanyu posted. You know, like, it was like Johnny posted a picture of him and Hanyu doing like the crown of flowers that Johnny had at the Olympics. Then it was taken down. It was like a Twitter drama this morning. I don't know. Like, listen,
Twitter's always up.
I was trying to find pictures of Hanyu doing the quad flip, and all we were getting was like stupid drama. People like Hanyu
that no one cares about. That Johnny and Yuzu would never.
Listen, these fans post what kind of food Hanyu likes to eat. I mean, it's ridiculous when you're trying to find him doing a quad Lutz and you. Dear God, okay.
But the video.
There's a Hanyu calendar coming out in September. I mean, I was really trying to find those quad flips.
Anything but what you needed. Yeah, of course. I mean, here's the thing, though. When you go back and really look at that entrance, he's almost skating with, like, no speed, completely casually.
I like how he's just like...
One shift of the weight, bam, quad Lutz. And I was just like, geez. After watching all those 80s and 90s things we've been watching where they stalk the rink to get ready for the triple Salchow, and they get, like, they work up the speed, over that much time and space. And it's just incredible what he can do in such a short, space with such little speed. It's remarkable.
Now, Shoma left for Russia on Thursday. They had pictures of him at the airport flying there. I believe, and it's like, does he get to go to Germany too for the medical evaluation before he goes? Like, I think he's going to be a full Terry. There's speculation that Terry has wanted him since March. So even though this is a tryout, she's going to do the Russian thing where she puts all of her attention in him, and she becomes, if she believes it has potential. If she doesn't see potential,
I don't know how you put it.
If she doesn't see potential, she'll do the Russian thing, being like, yes, you just asked for my help. I tried to help what I could, but what can I do? They come to me old. And Raphael does.
The old Raphael story.
I love based on a Russian true story. Anytime they want to bullshit us, come let it go.
Yeah, right? We'll take it.
But speaking of that, it has seemed that Eunsoo is no longer with Raphael, and even people talk around it, but it really looks like you could kind of tell that she hadn't been working with him in the show. You could tell that her jumps were kind of she still had the Raphael flip technique, but it was going, right? It wasn't looking comfortable. And David did go to do her programs, and he definitely went to Korea to do them, or stayed in Korea and did them with Eunsoo and the other June, who was in the show in the boy section where they were jumping. So he did their programs, and that was posted. So I would imagine she's probably going back to Yuna's coaches, who she worked with before. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Because everyone else kind of has someone, right? So in the U.S. and all the A-list coaches. So
yeah, and I'm intrigued, did they know that? And this was the way, is now they have a great excuse to pin on Mariah? I don't really know.
I just think
this was a result of that. If that was the result, I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you agree with this decision?
I talked to Ralph about it, and he just said that there was, of course, he was giving circular Russian answers, but he was just saying that there was nothing abnormal going on in the rink before Worlds. It was nothing unusual between competitors. So
right.
He was they're all competitive with each other. It was nothing
nothing out of the ordinary.
Yeah. He was
but I just wonder.
He did have a funny line when I asked him, and he said that if skaters pretend to love each other, that's when you know that they're lying. He said, because they all have to be self-driven, to be number one. So,
of course, yeah.
I thought that was hysterical, as only Ralph would say. So I'll be very intrigued to see what happens going forward, because her movement quality continues to improve, Eunsoo. There is a real star quality there.
So it's whatever's just going to really solidify those jumps.
Because she really needs a quad toe to really be competitive with these girls. So I'll be curious to see what happens.
Yeah, if they're able to give her that.
Because you can see in the show that she's giving you next level performer, which is always what we've loved.
But you always had that inside. To me, the jumps were looking a bit more Mariah-y.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I didn't know if Roth was the cause of that, or Roth was going to steer that.
Who wouldn't want Yuna's jumps? And if Yuna's coaches gave her that,
But that's always the question. Did they give her that, or did she come that way?
I think it's 50-50.
Yeah.
There's an inherent Yuna, but also Eunsoo had that great Lutz toe she came to Raphael with that too.
Right.
So,
and Eunsoo has a natural vocabulary of movement that is far superior than I think Yuna's natural.
Oh dear God, did you just have to say that, Jonathan? What did you want, 50 people to just dislike the video?
No, I meant naturally. Yuna probably worked on that and had the spring, but Eunsoo's gift is in movement.
You're making it worse. Okay.
I know. Okay, here, I'll just drink my stein of water again.
Anyway, Vincent Zhou is going to work with Hamada in Japan, so he's working with them again.
Full time.
Not full time, but they've. Remember, she was with the Kiss and Cry thing with him at Worlds.
I just didn't know how long or how they were going to negotiate that.
Well, she brings her skaters to work with Tom Dixon and to skate in Colorado a lot, so it looks like they're splitting time. But this is becoming more than just window dressing. He's gone there several times to work with her. She's come over several times. Apparently, he's been working with Tom Dixon on his movement and his programs after he got them from Mori. So there's at least getting reinforcement there. So.
Yeah, because again, like we always say, if you don't have someone hands-on watching it as it materializes or deconstructs, what are you doing? Even in the same way when we were talking about the pairs videos with Misha, it's okay, they're learning this combination, not routine, Jonathan, a combination. But where are we improving the actual execution of it? Because
they're not.
That's half of it. Like, okay, yes, people might be able to learn it and retain it, but are they selling it? Are they?
You need to work with Misha every day. I've always said our U.S. pairs need to train together, and they need Misha in there to dance with them every day. I want to see Alexa at the end of the year doing the Sam Smith program right next to Tara Kane. Okay.
Right.
Dear God, that video of Alexa's expression in the back. Dear God, she's our favorite. She's just our favorite.
Spirit animal.
Okay, like forever and always. Okay, there's just something about it that's just hysterical. So, but yes, and also we've been tagged about this a million times, so I think we should touch on it. Is that there was a situation in equestrian with a equestrian trainer, former rider, Robert Gage, who was accused of sexual misconduct, and he has committed suicide. Now, what we got from the articles that have come out is that Safe Sport felt that it was with multiple minors. But again, it was another suicide. So there's the equestrian community, there's parts that are coming out anti-Safe Sport again, and then there are parts that think that this is a sport culture that needs to deep dive in and, figure out. But I think one thing that's interesting is that when we look at the result, because obviously you can defend yourself with Safe Sport, and they've said this several times, even though there was a lot of misinformation that was given out deliberately several months ago, is that why someone would commit suicide. And there's always the ones that want to defend want to say that it's because of these accusations, they couldn't take it against them. But then you could look at also is the theory of narcissistic injury, about whether, when there is a perpetrator and they're exposed, that they can't deal with it. And that's why they would do it, because it's like the narcissist split. Like, they cannot recover from that wound of being exposed. So I think it's kind of like one or the other, whichever one you kind of think. I think you could even think about, like, for reality show watchers, on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, there was a person named Lisa Vanderpump who has been, like, manipulating stuff behind the scenes, and they kind of exposed her. And different people in these reality shows are always, like, the villain from year to year, based on how they do it. And, like, it was finally her, and she was exposed, and she just left the show. She didn't want to because she couldn't take it.
Fight or flight, in its own way, Mm-hmm. It's horrifying. And I can't say that I know much about...
I don't know much about equestrian, but there's...
Equestrian sport, but it sounds like it was a sport in which, again, like so many others, you just entrust that coach or that trainer.
And there's the age appropriateness. Yeah. There's money, and like skating, you could get special favors.
And isolation, yeah.
I think it's a real problem with all the Olympic sports, but I don't think that Safe Sport actually is funded enough to do their job. It seems like it was something that was maybe set up for window dressing, that's actually getting claims.
That they're like, this needs to be here, and it needs to be iconically large, not...
And they don't even know what to do.
I'm sure it's comical that this like small organization was given that task.
Yeah.
Now eradicate sexual predators from all of these sports. Go.
Yeah.
And it's like 4 people in an office, like drowning in paperwork.
And it really is. Like, so...
Tricky.
That's tricky. So, anyway, it looks like we're going to be getting the Grand Prix assignments very soon, Jonathan. So...
Are you excited for Vegas? I'm excited for Vegas. I've never been to Vegas.
I've never been to Vegas either. I'm ready. I'm ready for it. Okay?
Yeah, I am too.
I'm ready for Vegas in all of its tacky glory.
Now, let's talk about also, because as I look to next season, I obviously am intrigued by the idea of Montreal Worlds.
Yeah.
However, when we all first started looking at tickets, like, they were outrageously expensive. Now, these were like $3,000 for the event. Mm-hmm. And I thought, is that normal fare?
I mean, that's crazy. That's
nuts, right? Even if it is Canadian dollars, it would still be what? I don't know. I'm making it up. 2,500 US or something like that.
That's crazy.
Still a very large amount. Did you find that you were spending that much money in Boston?
No, I didn't. We didn't spend that much money in Boston, so no. But I don't remember the exact number. But no.
Okay.
Boston was expensive, but not like that. So.
Well, yeah. I was like, this is a surefire way to get no one to go.
Worlds should always be in Boston. It's my opinion. They do this.
Yeah.
Nationals and Worlds, and Boston does a great job. It should just be there.
Right.
It's the perfect
hotel
for it.
Easy to fly into. Yeah.
I love a Boston event. I just think the event, put it in Boston. Okay.
I suppose maybe some of the Asian, that's probably the longest Asian commute, is it? I don't know. Now we're just talking about weird geography. Sorry, Dave. You're trying to like wrap it up, talk about the Grand Prix. I'm like, if you were flying... Okay, all right, sorry.
If you were flying from Asia, where would you least like to go? I would like to go somewhere that's easy to go, okay? You know?
Yes, exactly.
Somewhere where I could take a nice sleeping pill, get up...
Wake up and go to the skating. Yeah.
So, yes, it was another eventful week on social media, but the competition is heating up. The men, it's becoming a real four-way race. I like that everyone is getting in their camps and they're getting ready to gun. You've got Vincent with Mia, Shoma with the Terry, you've got Nathan working with Shay, you've got
people switching it up a little bit. And it's going to be very exciting with new technical content, new coaches, new choreographers.
We saw there was a Raphael on his Team Roth thing. Gogolev was standing there with everyone, and I was like, oh, it's all.
Here we go. And so it begins. Yeah. And I keep watching Kolyada, and I keep watching Aliev. You know how it's funny when they talk about when it's someone's birthday and you post a picture of you with that person, but you look great in the photo and they probably don't?
Terrible.
This is Aliev posted something because it was Samarin's birthday. And so he posted when Dmitry had won, and Samarin was second, standing next to him at the podium place below, and he was like, "Happy birthday!" And I was like, "Wow, this is the skating equivalent of that."
From now on, I should only post photos of us when I was skating and you hadn't gone on the Christopher Schumann.
Yeah, when I was eating all the bread in New York State. Yeah,
that's what we should do. So that's
mean
and uncalled for.
Or not, Dave, or not.
Hold an edge, look sexy, and post a photo where you both look good, and it's not you on first place and putting them looking sexy. It's like when Tara posted her and Michelle was half cropped out of the picture. I mean, incredible.
I remember half of you. Bye.
Amazing. And of course, I tried to make a joke with Tara. She got none of it. Of course. Yeah. Anyway, hold an edge, look sexy, post kindly on Instagram. Bye, guys.
Bye.